Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of Monday Night Bloodbath. In a world where our president seems to be the poster boy for Russia dementia care facilities, tonight we're going to discuss, all the lovely things going on with the border bill, Nikki Haley looking like an idiot, and maybe some weird crap coming out of Montana and some other randomness like Newsom being completely oblivious to everything he's done.
Newsom.
Yeah.
He's
Did
a
you see
moderate
that?
now.
Did you see that thing where he's like on the Zoom call and he's all like, they're just taking, why should I pay for this? I just saw these. He's like in a Target store talking about how like these people just left. And he's like, no, I didn't do that.
I saw that clip last week and I was like yelling at my screen.
Okay.
This whole week, there's been 3 Democrats who just like did a whole 180 on opinions they've had just a year ago. Kamala Harris goes on The View and is like, the border's out of control. We should vote someone to do something about it.
Well, that all comes into the border bill. That's to help. That was a media run, a media circuit to push the border bill.
And Anna Kasparian, we'll talk about her later, but she just had another 180. The Young Turks flipped it. No, the Young Turks, the Young Turds, Gavin Newsom, Kamala Harris, they're all moderates now because it's election season. They're no longer leftists. They're all moderates. That's exactly what they're doing.
Okay. Well, on that note, Shock, how about you introduce yourself? How you doing?
I'm good. We'll start the week right. Yeah, lots of good topics, man. This bi-weekly show became weekly because of things are already getting pretty crazy, and
this never stops. We can almost do it every day if I want.
Yeah,
sorry.
Politics moves way too fast to do it every other week and stay on top of things.
Yeah,
it's a tsunami, or it's like calm waters,
and kind of like the main reason why we started this was because just to keep up with all the presidential campaign stuff, right? But then it's like there's all this other stuff going on.
Tangentially related.
People are going to want election coverage when it comes. So we're just going to get the ball rolling, start having discussions early.
Some might say we're late.
Oh, well,
yes.
I'd say we're right.
There's rumors that people still are going to announce their bid to run for president. They haven't even announced it yet.
I know. Well, too bad we don't have
that.
It is a little late, and it's a shame. We need to get Professor Savage Dad on because we've been arguing about Michelle Obama. I've been saying it's going to be a Michelle Obama, and he keeps showing us videos that she keeps saying, no, I don't want to be president.
Well, I mean, so I don't have anything about the latest O'Keefe piece, but that guy who was like, it's some sort of cybersecurity guy who works in the executive office was going on and saying she turned it down. She said, I saw what Obama did and I want nothing to do with that. On how much stock you put into what that guy had to say. Like, I mean, look, like I didn't see the second part of that when he reveals himself to the guy.
I saw the whole thing. Yeah.
I didn't
that
see
was great. Part,
but it's like you are cybersecurity something or other. And you did no work to look into who this guy is you might be going out on a date with.
That's what James said at the end. He's like, you're sitting with James O'Keefe. You're in charge of intelligence. How do you not know who I am? But he makes a really good point. He was talking about how like them in the cabinet and the staff, they need a new vice president. They know it has to be Joe Biden that gets reelected, but they need that VP to change. And they said, it's not Kamala Harris. But the thing is, if we get rid of Kamala Harris, we lose the white suburban mom vote. That's like literally what he said. We can't take a black woman off the ticket, even though black people don't like her.
Yeah. It's like right out in the open being like, yeah, this is our diversity hire.
Yeah, he said that. Yeah,
it's like you're not qualified, but we want you here because you'll get us that demographic of votes.
You can't take a black woman off the ballot. You know what I mean? Like you can't do that. It's super funny
because that would be racist.
I'm trying. So
that'd be racist.
I don't know if you noticed, but I was trying to
steam elements.
I set up all these Steam Element things, and none of them fucking work.
Yeah, mine don't work either.
I have to look into that. I still haven't. I know people do that, but I haven't figured out how, and I haven't really looked into it yet. But I want to for my own channel.
Yeah, I've got one for both of you where like you just type in Bang username and it will
But it's not working.
spit up the link, right? Like pull up the link, go sub. And yeah, I don't know what the problem is with Stream Elements. Anyway, Nerdy Neo, how are you doing?
Hey, doing well. Good to be back. Glad to see that it continued on last week. That was a great show. Definitely did watch it after the fact. But yeah, good to be back and talk more insane clown world that's going on around us.
Yeah. So let's, like I was saying, I kind of just want to start in on Niki Haley because she is
insufferable.
Buffoon. So
always a good place to start.
I've got some tweets here of her. So did you guys see how like she posted some tweets with some letters and people like looked at them? They're like, these letters are fake. These
oh my,
like,
and yeah, like, it was a composed message that someone on her own team wrote and then screenshotted it. Like anyone's gonna believe that actually came from someone.
And they were handwritten letters. Like no one's writing your handwritten letters. No. Sorry.
If people didn't believe R.F. Kennedy Jr. commenting on a thirst trap, no one's gonna believe her.
So she's got this one where she's got some more letters here. One is an email and the other one is a scan. I don't know. Maybe this is a fax.
A fax.
It looks like it.
It does. Gosh, look like a fax.
It looks terrible.
So these first, like, what is it? 6 words. I don't listen to the political elites who want to coronate Donald Trump. The political elites want to coronate Donald Trump. Really? You think that's what they want to do?
In what universe is that happening in? It's definitely not ours.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
She's all, I listen to the voters and they want a choice in this election. Thank you for your support. I'll keep working hard and make you proud. This is the biggest line of bullshit. The political elites hate Donald Trump.
He's the most freaking politically persecuted person on the planet. Who does she think wants to coronate him? That is a political elite.
I love how they. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I like how they want to bring up how much money he spent on like legal fees, and it's like how many presidents are being charged in like 8 different states for
BS
charges
crap.
that keeps getting dropped. Like that's not a brag. That's really sad, and he's still winning. Because you're playing into his hands. He gets to be like, look what they're doing to me. Oh, no president's ever been charged this much. It's just the Democrats are failing hard. They've never made Trump look more like I'm trying to think of the word, not victimized.
Everything they're doing is making him more of a martyr.
Yes. Well said.
Yes. A martyr. Perfect.
And I don't know if it was when this happened, whether it was before or after last Monday's bloodbath, but the whole 83 million to that insane woman with zero evidence, and they're saying he's got to pay her 83 million. Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, and they kept him from submitting any evidence or anything like that.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, and you may have evidence, but you can't submit it. It's like, what kind of kangaroo court is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a brag. It's just I don't know what these headlines are.
That's just one thing of how out of touch she is. And now I don't entirely blame her for this next one, but this is definitely on her campaign team. They made a meme. Niki Haley is memeing. Did you guys see her meme?
Well, you know what they say, the left can't meme.
No.
I see what you did there, Nini.
Oh yeah, I did see this.
She made a Halloween meme on February 1st.
Good one. This is why women aren't funny.
Weakest candidate ever. because you're pulling so far ahead of him, right, Nikki? Oh wait.
Yeah.
And it includes social media rants and temper tantrums, terrible poll numbers, which I didn't have them, but like I showed the poll where like she had like a higher percentage or whatever, or no, she had a wider margin between her and Biden, right? But Trump had a much higher percentage, and so it's like, okay, so either Trump running annihilates all the third party vote,
Yeah,
or way more fucking people are voting in the Trump Biden election than in the Nikki Biden election because no one wants anything to do with it. Like,
yeah. Especially like
Twitter
with
background.
what's his name?
I have no idea what my Twitter background is.
Well, thank you. He's probably talking about me. Hello, Lottie Hottie. Oh, what was I gonna say? I would agree with the terrible poll numbers because he should be winning by a landslide. Who is this woman? She came out of nowhere. And this costume should at least come with a Diet Coke. I don't see why it wouldn't.
I don't know if this is normally on the bag, but it says one size fits most. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah,
but
That's
probably on the bag
standard.
normally. That's probably like part of the
template, not actually part of the meme, but part
of the template. And then there's one more thing that I don't know if it was today, but I just saw this one.
She's showing every day how more and more out of touch she is.
Let's see, what was the date on this one? This one is today. This one was today.
Who actually supports Nikki Haley other than Dems that re-registered as Republicans in order to vote for her?
Yeah, and they're only voting for her now because they don't want to have to deal with Trump because they don't think Trump could. They know they can't handle Trump. So here's the last one. Here's the last bit of the Nikki Haley shenanigans. So in this tweet, she says, praising dictators is not normal. Make America normal again. Let's listen to what he has to say.
I like President Xi a lot. He was a very good friend of mine during my term.
Well, look, COVID cover-up, intellectual property
when
theft.
COVID came,
the list is long from our number one adversary. So I don't know if he's a friend.
But I got along with him great. I'm not sure he loved what I was doing because I was, getting along with him.
I don't think he wants you in the White House, Mr. President.
No, he doesn't. Their market almost crashed when I won Iowa and New Hampshire. The market went down tremendously. Look, I like President Xi a lot. He was a very good.
So all he did was say he likes President Xi a lot, and he was
a good friend of mine during my term.
He was a good friend of his during his term, and then he does.
Well, look, COVID cover-up, intellectual property theft.
When COVID came,
the list is long from our number one adversary. So I don't know if he's a friend.
But I got.
So he said, I don't. She said, I don't know if he's a friend, and he says no. So that's kind of like contradictory. But his opening statement is what he does when you want to like be business partners with somebody. And that's all he's trying to do. He's trying to not be an asshole and maintain some sort of level of professional decorum.
Yeah,
well, the tongue twisters that Trump has, what other like politician doesn't get like hand-fed scripts ahead of time? They openly try to get Trump off his game.
Yeah.
He's the only politician that's actually having conversations where people are actually trying to make him trip over his words. Every other politician,
you are absolutely right. Because everyone else gets softballs.
Yeah, the softballs, they know what questions they're being asked ahead of time. They don't throw
any. They know who to call on. Or
they know who to call
supposed to.
Even though they're not there.
They have it written on a piece of paper and
Yeah, calling people who previously died and they already spoke at their funeral.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Thanks for voting for me.
Oh, when was that? I remember that, but I completely forgot.
It's probably about a year ago, I think. But yeah, like freaking Biden is like selling us out to China, and yet they don't say anything. But Trump says, I liked him. We got along. It's like, oh, that's so terrible. Trying to make him out to be this bad guy.
Yeah, the world leader of the leader of the free world should be making peace with all world leaders. This is why the deep state. So like the deep state like bounces and chooses with whatever parties in power, right? It was the Republicans with Bush, and now it's definitely the Democrats, the pro-war people.
Duke Devil.
All they do is they support war. No, you're good. What's up, Duke?
Oh, it just made me laugh.
He says, sorry, you're wrong on this. Trump is a flip-flopper, unlike the great Joe Biden, whose position on China is known by all of us.
Yes.
Yes. Well, we know how he feels about black people.
I went to an all-black church.
You're only black if you vote for him.
Oh, I love the G Prime 85's meme or cartoon where he sucks the black out of the
oh, that's right.
She's like, I'll never vote for you.
Those are those little like they're like amazing painting memes, right? They're like he like puts a lot of fucking work.
He's a freaking
high
artist.
level memes.
He's an artist first and like a meme. They're comic strips.
Yeah.
I love G Prime, even though he has terrible takes on video games every now and then. Still love the dude.
Hey, Spartacus,
Cheers, brother.
Has James died over there yet? Has he gone into diabetic coma or anything yet?
I need to update my Blair White meme.
Our buddies over at Melee Games are having like an Oreo eating contest. I have no idea why they keep doing this.
Oreos. He's a psycho. My daddy's a psycho. I love my dads.
It was funny. He had like 8 tips to eat Oreos before he even got the rules out. That was hilarious.
All right, so let's do this. We're going to start off with insanity in New York as we build our way to the border bill. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Let's do it.
Waiting for my page to load. Ugh. Goddamn giant ass banner ads. There we go.
Ooh, gotta check out the Discord.
Discord? What are you talking about?
Just a James meme.
Oh. So the border has been a very big topic for about a month now. Love the border. You know what? I'm gonna kick
Duke.
Ban Duke Devil.
You know what? You should be a writer for SNL.
So we got New York City here launching a $53 million program to hand out prepaid credit cards to migrant families. Now, what's something interesting about this is I don't know if you guys remember an Arizona sheriff somewhere down south, like Tucson or something. He was claiming that they were getting prepaid cards. And like, I couldn't find anything on this at the time or anything, but now it's like, oh, well, this is obviously happening. So we got Mayor Eric Adams' administration will soon start handing out prepaid credit cards to migrant families being put up at a Big Apple hotels, the Post alert. That's right. Not only are they getting your tax dollars in their pocket, but your tax dollars are paying for them to
house them,
have a TV with free HBO.
Oh my God.
Showing the 53 million pilot program. So that means this might not be the first. This is only the first one. Run by New Jersey company Mobility Capital Finance will provide asylum seekers.
Mm.
Who wants to bet that company is background funded by like Soros or BlackRock?
Oh yeah,
yeah. They're getting money from all sorts of dark places. So we'll provide asylum seekers arriving in the Roosevelt Hotel with the city cash to help them buy food, according to city records. I'll start with a group of 500 migrant families in short-term hotel stays and will replace the current food service offered there, according to City Hall. What? I will start with a group of 500. Okay, so they're going to split 53 million between 500 families.
That's what I was just thinking. It's like that.
Good Lord.
That's not very much. I'm going to do that math right now. 53 million divided by 500. That is 106,000 per family.
Well, no, no. Because they've got someone's got to be skimming some shit off the top, right? At least 10%, right?
Well, you got to pay the guy to get all this shit to him.
Yeah, right. There's that, and then the skimming.
Yeah. Wait. I mean, on top of the top. So let's just say the government keeps 30% and gives it to Ukraine. Okay, half of it. Yeah. Dude, the government is one giant business. And it's just always made sense it should be ran by a businessman. Government is not government. Government's a business.
Well, anymore, it's just a giant washing machine.
I don't know if you call it a business when businesses go under when they can't perform.
Also, a business that doesn't produce anything. They don't produce fuck all.
They produce war.
You're right. They
and
produce
they
death
steal
and
your
destruction.
money to fund it.
Oh gosh.
I don't remember what it was, but I saw a trailer for something yesterday. And it started off with saying, we're funded by government tax dollars, so we need to make every second count. I'm like, what government is that?
Yeah, not here, because like Spartacus is saying, the government would rather help Ukraine than the people in Maui. I saw something briefly about how they're maybe it was something you posted, Nerdy Neo, but I saw something about they're preventing people in Maui from going and cleaning up their stuff and going and looking at their getting to their property and everything.
I do remember hearing something about that a while ago.
Well, I saw this just today, so it's apparently still happening.
Okay, then that wasn't for me, but I do know that they prevented people from leaving and people burned to death in their cars because of it.
Yep.
Sickening.
And they were told not to sound the tsunami alarm because that's not for fires. That's for tsunamis.
Right.
Alarm's a fucking alarm. Who cares?
Yeah, it's like...
So we've got New York who's going to hand out a ton of money to a bunch of people who aren't supposed to be here. They have broken the law. And they immediately get put on welfare. Yep. Something that I, at my poorest and most homelessness, did not qualify.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's
because
sickening.
My genitalia and skin color did not work for me, even back then.
And your sexuality, I'm sure, I assume.
Yeah, I forgot your...
Well,
why didn't you tell them you're gay, dude?
I didn't. So that actually wasn't on the fill out form. They weren't asking that at that point.
Oh, okay.
So we got that, and then I found this wonderful clip. This, I mean, of course, because it's timely, shows up on my feed, and it's not like someone ever warned anyone about this.
Who's that big?
Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I can listen.
That's Jack Skellington.
On the left.
Skellington, to be honest. He's just...
Over 130.
I remember my dad was so excited when he chose Pence.
Oh, that's the gayest thing I've heard in my life.
I
know. That's worse than my stepdad being like, I really thought McCain would have done a good job.
Oh,
like, how could you say that, man?
Anyone who thought McCain was going to win was lying to themselves.
Did you?
Yeah. Because not only did they super inflate, they blew up the shit out of Obama, but the idea of the first black president was so much more important than anything else at that point in time.
It's an attraction. It attracts people to want to vote too.
Yeah,
it's like a phenomenon.
Exactly.
It's like a phenomenon.
Did you happen to see the clip today about Romney blaming Trump for the invasion, the border crisis?
No, I did not see that.
Oh, yeah, I'll see if I can find it.
Kamala said it, but
so let's see what I believe this was his last State of the Union, Mr. President Trump here.
Over 130 legislators in this chamber have endorsed legislation that would bankrupt our nation by providing free taxpayer-funded health care to millions of illegal aliens, forcing taxpayers to subsidize free care for anyone in the world who unlawfully crosses our borders. These proposals would raid the Medicare benefits of our seniors and that our seniors depend on, while acting as a powerful lure for illegal immigration. That is what is happening in California and other states. Their systems are totally out of control, costing taxpayers vast and unaffordable amounts of money. If forcing American taxpayers to provide unlimited free health care to illegal aliens sounds fair to you, then stand with the radical left. But if you believe that we should defend American patients and American seniors, then stand with me and pass legislation to prohibit free government health care for illegal aliens.
His face, it's like made out of clay or something. I don't know what's going on.
Dude, it sure is.
Clayface?
Yeah, Clayface.
He is Clayface, dude. He's
also known as the Joker.
Yeah.
In one of the games.
In one of them, yeah.
The in my opinion, the underrated one, but we're not here to talk about games.
No, we could do that another time.
That's what my channel's for.
Yes. If you want to listen to video, just all good things video games, check out Nerdy Neo. So yeah, everyone who's complaining about this stuff and voted for Biden and didn't pay attention, because no one was paying attention to what Trump was actually saying. They were only paying attention to what the media was telling them.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, there it is.
Oh, okay. We got the Romney.
If you wanted to.
Oh my. Okay. You know what? So oddly enough, you said Romney, and for some reason I heard DeSantis.
Oh no, I did say
that
Romney, right?
I heard Romney.
Yeah, you said you did say Romney. Yeah, but isn't that weird how like my brain worked like that? Like Romney,
right?
This like
so many DeSantis supporters are like coping right now. I feel really bad for them.
But yeah, all you people who voted for Biden and are complaining about this, go fuck yourselves. You weren't paying attention. You were being manipulated and gaslit by the mainstream media.
I mean, that kind of includes Elon Musk, dude. He voted for.
Yeah, no, it does.
Voted for Biden.
But well, he's at least like bringing attention to it. Elon did something else weird this week.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might have a tweet or two of his in the border bill stuff. I think one for sure. The other one I couldn't find. But anyways, let's check out this Romney thing. Let's see how fucking clueless he is.
Man, Romney.
Well, that was weird how I did that.
Oh, I think the border is a very important issue for Donald Trump, and the fact that he would communicate to Republican senators and Congresspeople that he doesn't want us to solve the border problem because he wants to blame Biden for it is really appalling. But the reality is that we have a crisis at the border. The American people are suffering as a result of what's happening at the border. And someone running for president ought to try and get the problem solved, as opposed to saying, "Hey, save that problem. Don't solve it. Let me take credit for solving it later."
So, do you know what that's in response to? We might as well just get right into it.
No, I do not.
So I've got this right here. This was Trump's truth today about the border bill. So we'll just get right into the border bill.
Okay, good segue.
And someday I'll get the share screen thing down.
I don't know why. I'm trying to reload the video so I can rehear what he said at the end because I kind of missed it. But my thoughts when I read, okay, go for it. You're good.
Well, so yeah, so you'll kind of see, might be able to pull out what he was saying after I read this here. So this is Donald Trump on Truth today, maybe yesterday. I don't know for sure. The person who took this screenshot, they removed all the identifying information. So only a fool or a radical left Democrat would vote for this horrendous border bill, which only gives shutdown authority after 5,000 encounters a day, when we already have the right to close the border now, which is something Trump tried to do.
Mm-hmm.
Which must be done. The bill. So you see already right there, he's gaslighting the shit out of the people because he's like, no, just close it now. You don't need this bill.
Yeah.
Well,
to do it.
The 5,000 shutdown clause thing was actually introduced by the Republicans to try to make the bill nonpartisan, and the Democrats still said no.
This is technically a nonpartisan bill because Republicans did help write this, from what I can tell.
They did, and the Democrats still benefit from it, and they're still
It's bipartisan instead of nonpartisan.
Sorry, I said bi, didn't I?
I don't know. I might have said non.
Okay, but yeah, bipartisan, meaning two parties are involved and agree. So, yeah, this benefits the Democrats, even though the freaking Republicans wrote it, and the Democrats are so greedy that they still shot it down.
It's because it just benefits their pockets. We'll get into that. So this bill is a great gift to the Democrats and a death wish for the Republican Party. It takes the horror. I wish. Fuck the Democrats and fuck the Republicans. Like, stop playing these games. It takes the horrible job of Democrats have done on immigration and the border, absolves them, and puts it all squarely on the shoulders of Republicans. I don't understand that. Don't be stupid. We need a separate border and immigration bill. It should not be tied to foreign aid in any way. Yeah. And we'll get to that. The Democrats broke immigration and the border. They should fix it, make America great again. So you see, Mitt Romney is lying to you on the news because that's misrepresenting what Donald Trump said. So let me pull this up. This is from Senator Mike Lee from Utah. Now, I don't know anything about his past, but he put together this interesting bit about the bill called Senator Lee Releases Dirty Dozen Disasters and So-Called Border Deal. So here's the dirty dozen disasters I found in this terrible border bill, and this is just the beginning. So the first one codifies catch and release. The government secretary of Homeland Security, unchecked authority to release an alien into the United States under ineffective alternatives to detention. The illegals only have to express credible fear or persecution or the intent to apply for protection determination. Nothing. So it's just they just get to, all they have to say is I'm scared, and they get to come in.
Yep. And they can be all the way from Brazil to from Ukraine, from Africa, from
which is completely against everything. You're supposed to stop at the next closest, the first border you cross, right?
Yeah.
Which makes it difficult if you live in Australia. But hey,
that's not very true.
Very New Zealand too.
Yeah, that sounds like a very strong border bill right there. Reminds me of South Park when they use the excuse they're coming right for us to shoot all the animals.
It literally says they don't want to do anything.
Yep.
They're like, we don't want to change anything.
And you know what? They don't want to repair the good relationship that America and Mexico had. Because the asylum isn't offered to anyone in Mexico, right?
Oh.
It's just from people from other countries.
Right.
Like if you were to say, if you are in Mexico and you need asylum, we will give you.
Yeah, because Mexico doesn't want them.
Yeah, Mexico doesn't want them. The cartels
they'll let them walk through their country.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
So, I mean, a question I have is, why is it so like verbally being spoken now? Like, what was the New York City congresswoman who said, well, I don't want to lose any of my districts, so all these numbers and bodies can come to my state because I benefit from it.
So we're getting there.
Okay.
But also I feel like that's a multifaceted question you asked. Why is this coming up so much? And I want to ask that again later because I have concerns and weird thoughts about this whole thing as well, because this being such a big deal right now, right?
Yeah. But the point is that they're just taking advantage of them. They're not actually trying to build better border relationships. They're not actually trying to create, good relationships with things that would benefit both us and Mexico and Canada, our supposed allies. So it's just a tool for them. It's an extension of their power.
Yeah, it seems like they want to, make it sound like they want to try to placate without actually having to do anything. It's all just, all on paper without actually doing anything or changing anything in reality.
This is like the biggest dog and pony show. There's nothing happening except for all the shit that they actually want.
Yeah.
So allow up to 1.8 million illegal aliens to enter before temporary closing parts of the border.
Where does that number come from?
So, well, let's read. The Secretary of Homeland Security is only required to shut down the border if there are 5,000 average illegal crossings over a consecutive 7-day period or 8,500 in a single day.
Why are they counting these things and not stopping it?
Right? Like, that's really impressive that they can count all these people.
I don't even think they're actual accurate counts either. Like, hey, we'll no, I don't even think that says that they are counting. It's like, oh yeah, we'll start counting if that the part of the agreement.
Well, somebody's
is to
counting because they've been able to say how many millions of people have come into this border over the last 10 years. You know, like there's people out there with the numbers. So something's happening.
The government has to be counting them, right? That means they're being trafficked. Like, where do these numbers come from?
They are literally being trafficked. They are sending these people to Boston and Minnesota and New York. And it's not just the Republican governors who did that. The federal government is literally paying to ship the migrants across this country, the illegal aliens across this country.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing that's just infuriating is that line says the secretary may shut down the border if crossings exceed these numbers. Like, why isn't it shut down to begin with? It's not supposed to be open.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even during
what's the point of a border if it's just open all the time?
Even during a border emergency, this bill requires the administration to process a minimum of 1,400 illegal immigrants a day. What the fuck?
Why?
Are you required to process any? Nope. Go back.
0.
Turn around. You got to go back.
If you're not coming in illegally, you shouldn't be coming in. Or sorry, if you're not coming in legally, you shouldn't be coming in at all.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. This is 400 more per day than the Obama DHS Secretary Jed Johnson, Gay Johnson, said constituted in the crisis of 2019. So we got some loopholes here. Does not account any unaccompanied alien children from non-contiguous countries. So that means not Mexico. Suspected does not count any suspected trafficking victims, aliens who are determined exempted based on decision by ICE. What kind of exemptions are they getting from ICE?
That's a good question.
And if you're getting trafficking victims, I hope you're doing some investigations. But somehow, I just don't think you are.
Yeah, I wouldn't put any stock into that they are.
Okay, so exempted by ICE or aliens who meet screening criteria for asylum. So anyone who's afraid, anyone who literally up here said that they are afraid.
Yeah, what's that criteria for asylum?
I believe illegals only have to express credible fear.
I don't even know what that means. They're just letting them in. They're not being processed at all.
And he quotes it because that's actually the words in the bill. Credible fear.
My goodness. That they're being completely vague and nebulous with the term, so it can apply to anything they want it to apply to.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're not doing any of this stuff.
Oh Jesus! So I just to be careful, like it's a little worse than I thought it was. But I googled the definition of credible just to be exact, right? Credible, adjective, able to be believed, convincing. That's all it means. There's like no facts behind it or anything.
Credible means to be convincing.
Yes, because those two things mean exactly the same.
Huh.
I don't think that's what it used to mean. I think that definition got updated. Right?
Static, do you have a snoring dog?
Oh, I'm so sorry. That is my dog.
Oh, that's shocked. He's snoring very loudly.
Sounds like a rather large dog.
She's actually not. She's a Boston Terrier.
No.
Yeah, you. Shut up. She's looking at me really sad.
Okay, that's interesting. So I guess Crowder pointed out that they'd never be able to shut down the border based on the low arbitrary number like this. It's interesting.
Yeah, I gotta watch that Crowder episode because I just feel like Crowder doesn't always report the news, but lately I've heard he's dropped some bombs that no one's talking
I
about.
wonder what this job pays. I live not far from the border, 3-4 hours. I can get a van. GOP Minority Leader Senator Yertle the Turtle now allegedly against the bill. So yeah, I've seen people, supposedly Republicans, are like, and by Republicans I mean the people that the ones that people don't like as well. So we'll skip this part just for time's sake. But presidential discretion allows the president to reopen the border anytime in the national interest to temporarily suspend the border emergency authority for up to 45 days. So he could just say, nope, we're just going to leave it open. The emergency is temporarily suspended. Is that how emergencies work?
Well, I mean,
Whatever
even
they
if
can
you were
use
to have,
increase their power.
even if you were to have like open borders, even if you had open borders, it would still be unconstitutional for aliens to come in places that weren't ports of entry. But cartels or the Fed are working together to have their own random freaking paths and holes for people to come in that aren't proper ports of entry. So we're just talking about the people that actually come in the border. We're not talking about the people that just go freaking around.
That's pretty good, Duke. That's pretty good.
Oh, I like it. That's good.
And what's that saying about, like, if you give up your freedom for in an emergency, they'll create emergencies to take your freedom?
Mm-hmm.
If you give up your freedom for security, you don't deserve either.
That too.
That's I believe, a Ben Franklin paraphrase. But then again, that could be one of the many Ben Franklin quotes out there that have been
attributed to him that may not have been him.
Yeah.
He was quoting someone.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
Michael Scott. Yeah.
So those first two bullet points are like, okay, nothing's changing. And now we get into the fun stuff.
Oh, that wasn't the fun stuff?
No. So number 3 is fund sanctuary cities and NGOs sending illegals around the country. This includes $1.4 billion for more FEMA grants to NGOs that provide shelter, transportation, legal advice, and other services to illegal aliens, and $2.3 billion to HHS, for refugee entrant and assistance, a slush fund for services to unaccompanied alien children. Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah, let's just give them more of our money, if that makes sense.
Like, I don't know how much time you guys have spent in the Pizzagate side of things, but all this stuff with the children is really, really, really.
Yeah.
I
mean, yeah.
Pizzagate.
You never heard of Pizzagate? Basically, if you go on websites to purchase like miscellaneous items, you'll see like cheese pizza on sale for like $50,000.
Oh, is that why cheese pizza is often used for?
So, yeah, yes, cheese pizza, CP, the initials, right?
Yes.
Also, hot dogs. I think vanilla ice cream is another one, but like,
I've not heard those ones.
So, WikiLeaks, had released the Hillary emails, right? Those ones that were on the server. This was forever ago. And there's a lot of very questionable emails involving people with like Hillary and Obama and John Podesta and such. And they look like they're using coded language, and they're talking about spending millions of dollars on hot dogs and pizza.
I never saw that, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of really weird stuff where you can go down a bunch of rabbit holes on those Hillary emails.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard that, but that would not surprise me in the slightest.
I mean, Epstein.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Hey, look, you're just like your shirt.
Nice short.
So we're going to give money to all of our friends is what number 3 is. We're going to give money to all the NGOs that pad our pockets. So we're going to pad their pockets. Let's see. What's number 4 here? Subsidize free taxpayer-funded legal counsel to illegal aliens. Orders the Secretary of Health and Human Services to ensure that all unaccompanied alien children who are or have been in the custody of the Secretary of Health and Human Services or the Secretary of Homeland Security have counsel to represent them in legal proceedings. And free legal counsel for any legal alien who a judge determines is mentally incompetent. What? What? So is anyone who just doesn't speak English going to be considered mentally incompetent?
Oh, man.
Was that a racism? I don't know.
No.
That's racist.
That's racist.
I mean, Shock's brown adjacent. He knows.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't speak English here, and they're not offended when you're like, speak English. And they're like, oh, I try. Sorry.
Yeah, Chelsea had pizza and hot dogs at her wedding with Ghislaine Maxwell. What was that?
I always say her name Ghislaine. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's what I said. Well, everyone was calling her that forever.
Is that not what it is?
I think it's Ghislaine.
Oh, I thought it was Ghislaine. That's the only way I've ever heard it pronounced, so I thought that's legitimately what it was.
Don't worry, you had it right the whole time.
Yeah, don't even worry about it. Pretend you never heard that.
Heard what?
Exactly.
So
it expands parole instead of limiting it. Does nothing meaningful to limit President Biden's abuse of parole. The language makes a fake exemption that seems sanction Mayorkas' current abuse of parole. Under this bill, Mayorkas can parole in all these groups with the implicit approval of Congress. It also creates a dangerous expansion of parole by saying it can now be granted for anyone the DHS secretary determines has an urgent humanitarian reason to stay and any culturally important purpose warranting the alien's presence in the United States on tribal land located at or near an international land border. All right, I'm gonna be real. I'm not exactly sure what the fuck they mean by that. Like, is it considered parole when they're allowed to just go out and walk around?
Professor Savage Dad is on the Rumble chat, by the way.
Oh, we've got Rumble chatters. Hey, Savage.
Talking about how a lot of these migration patterns, the majority of them are sex traffickers, both victims, adult and children.
And he brings up the Chinese weed slave farms. That's the Chinese weed slave farms.
Are you talking about like Nevada and California? I didn't know they were Chinese.
You know what? There was an interesting conversation. So, like, there's some weird stuff going on in the weed market, and we're just being regulated to fucking back.
Oh, yeah.
And the We Are Change podcast had some people who were pretty into that business side of things of that, and yeah, these Chinese weed farms, I'm sure we're just legislating to make that more possible for them.
Mm-hmm.
So let me go back to my other tab here.
You'll buy weed with Bitcoin.
So increases green cards by 50,000 per year for 5 years. This includes 32,000 family-based green cards and 18,000 employment-based green cards. Okay, this doesn't bother me, but are they just handing them green cards as they walk over the border? Like, I don't know. You know, like if we have people that have been vetted that we can bring in, okay, cool. You know, it's really hard to get to any of these other Western nations. You know, we can't exactly just go and move to France.
Or Ireland for that matter, bro. Like, they all want open borders, but they make it impossible to legally go there. They don't do visas anymore, but you can come on, walk. You could swim on in.
Yeah, but I'm the wrong skin color. I know that.
Oh, that's true. We are, yeah.
What were you gonna say, Neo?
I don't remember.
Okay, dude, just butt in anytime, man.
Butt on in.
You can tell us to shut up. What's next? We're on 7. Work permit for adult children of H-1B visa holders. Okay, so now not only can the people come and take American jobs, but their children can as well. Hurts American workers by providing indefinite work permits as estimated. Yep. Okay. Yeah, he gets.
But if a 14-year-old suburban son works at a Burger King, it's slave labor, apparently.
Right. Well, and actually, work permit for adult children of H-1B visa holders. Shouldn't the adult children be sent the fuck back? Should they be going and trying to get their visa or whatever it is to stay here at that point if they're adults?
Yeah,
That's
you would think so.
Because it doesn't matter. They get processed the same as the adults do.
Right, but they came in 16, right? Well, just to keep it simple. They came in at 16. Their parents renewed their H-1B 2 years in a row, right? I think it's I don't, as a matter of fact, I think you might only need to renew it twice every 2 years. I don't know for a fact. It's been a while since I worked with someone who had one. But like, so their parents just kept re-updating their visa and they stayed here until that they became an adult.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna bring up Devil's thing in a bit. So like that's like so then their kid's now 18 and they're just here. Like, I mean, I get it, like, but like, shouldn't they be having to go through the same paperwork as their parents to get what their parents got?
They could still use that visa to get like a driver's license, and then you therefore have American identification, even though you don't have a
like. I don't have a problem if we got like some sort of leniency on them since they've been here, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like it doesn't have to be full hardcore, but should they just be given to them anyways? Just because? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good question because, like, what do you know, they've been here. That you're gonna separate them from their parents to send them back, and
yeah, no, I don't like that for sure. Yeah. I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
But like, they should be having to go through some sort of paperwork process to go through all whatever it is that their parents had to do, right? And they get like a little bit of extra time or something.
Yeah,
you know, something like that. I don't know.
Definitely not the worst thing on here.
Mm-hmm.
Immediate work permits to every legal, immediate work permits to every illegal release from custody after they pass an initial screening. Citizen. Just about. Current law requires a 6-month waiting period after filing an asylum claim before you can apply for a work permit. Well, you see, everyone can just literally you can just claim asylum for anything, even though your country is not under war.
But what if they just secretly like let Republicans and like local elections agree, hey, you should need a work permit to just, get a job, and then you just let more illegals not have to go. It doesn't matter because they're not going to get their due process anyway for coming in here. They're not going to find these people.
Yeah.
And then more people are going to agree with, not having work permits so that younger people can start working and all that stuff. And then that's how you let all these illegal immigrants and aliens just work actual corporate jobs.
Yeah. And what is this screening that they go through? I doubt it's very rigorous.
And they just get a letter and then they say, we'll find you or something.
Current law requires 6-month waiting period for filing an asylum claim before you can apply for a work permit. Under this bill, applicants are granted an immediate work permit if they pass the initial asylum back to the credible fear screen.
Why are we making...
You should not be getting a worker's permit as you come in here. That should be the ultimatum. You're still illegal, right? Until you apply for the permit.
Why are we just letting them in?
Yes, exactly. We're letting them in.
Say, by the way, them in and they can't work. Like, what the fuck are they supposed to do then? What we shouldn't be letting them in.
Yeah,
I heard something like while Texas has been in control of their border, it's gone from 3,000 a day to like 3 a day.
Damn.
Yeah, we need more of that.
Well, because let's say like they're letting them in regardless, right? And then if we give them permits, you're creating another welfare base. But then let's say, let's not give the illegals permits. Let's not have them work. You're just going to create so much more crime in this country and more border problems. It's a fucking lose-lose. We're
creating crime anyways because we're not vetting these people.
Yeah.
But I mean, like more like
how many of these people are actually
going
to get legitimate jobs, anyways?
Yeah. Right. Well, that's why like Benny went hard on the whole Ronald Reagan like letting giving citizenship to the people who are already in here, and it's like, well, is the answer just to let a bunch of people be illegals and not get jobs? Like I'm not totally against it. You make them legal citizens so that they can get 9 to 5 actual jobs, so they can be actual citizens. So you don't create criminals, because that's what we're doing. We're creating more criminals.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
We're creating criminals. And we're letting people in who already hate this country. Like, I mean, could you imagine? How long have we been blowing the shit out of the Middle East?
Oh,
yeah. They should have to be here legally.
Yep. They should have to go through the proper process of us being able, because, like I said, if I go move anywhere, I have to go through the process.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to go through the process even if America's attacked, right? Like, they're not just going to let me go in. So Duke mentioned this a little while ago. He's adult American children can stay on their parents' health care until 25, so adult doesn't seem to matter much anymore. Yes, that's part of the participation trophy generation. That's what that is.
That was a sad day when I had to start paying for my own insurance.
I had to pay for my own. I didn't even know I needed it. And like, I just happened to get a job when I was 18 that offered me insurance. Right.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I never fucking even considered it. And I was like, yeah, you should get that. And then really back then you didn't have to carry it, which was the biggest waste of my money because I was 18, didn't need to go to the doctor for anything.
Yeah, agreed. I only got it because it's the law. And I'm like, why do I legally need insurance? It's stupid.
I just got fired up about that again this weekend. I was like, I understand if you need insurance to, drive a car or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But why the hell are we required to have insurance for ourselves? If we don't want to, who the heck do you think you are to say that I need to give you money for health insurance when I don't need it?
It's because you are paying for the people who can't afford it.
Car insurance is the same thing, though, because think about it.
Yeah,
if you get hit if you get completely annihilated, like you're healthy, but your car gets completely annihilated by someone with no insurance, you're fucked.
Yep.
You can't do anything about that. You can't sue them. I mean, sure, you could sue them, but why do you think they have no insurance?
Yeah, what are you going to get out of it?
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, you're just
like insurance is a scam too. It doesn't protect you. Like,
yeah, no, I'm not saying insurance is good. I worked with a lot of insurance over the years in the medical field, and it's like, God, this is like a freaking legalized extortion.
But to Neo's point, like health insurance, you're just insuring yourself. You need car insurance because if you are irresponsible and hit someone, you need someone to be liable to that innocent civilian that got rear-ended.
Yeah.
Like I got rear-ended and my car got totaled because the airbags cost like $20,000 to fix. Like,
oh shit.
Like, what if he wasn't luckily it was a company truck, so they were just like, here's the money. I was like, cool. But what if he wasn't? I'm just supposed to be screwed, So it's different when your insurance, the point of having car insurance is you have to be responsible for other civilians that are innocent.
Yeah. You not having health insurance doesn't affect anyone but you.
Yeah, no. Unless you're not jabbed, damn it.
So, and then Cyber Ninja said, which goes great with point number 9 we're about to read here. Mass deportation and locking down the border is the only acceptable answer.
Yep.
I agree.
And only one of the Republican candidates boldly and bravely said that.
And shutting down the border doesn't mean no migration. We can still have migration. We have the proper forms just like everywhere else.
It's because they try to conflate the two to make you sound racist. Like, no one, or, effectively no one has a problem with legal immigration. It's illegal immigration we have a problem with.
100%.
If you want to, prove that you want to come here and go through the proper channels to do it, I'm all for it. But when you just walk over the border and get handed all these special treatments when you're here illegally, it's disgusting.
Yep.
It's disgraceful, and it's a slap in every single tax-paying American's face.
And number 9 is the point that there's nothing to deport illegals. Does not require the president or the Secretary of Homeland Security to deport anyone.
Well,
so there's no changing anything. Everyone who's here is here.
That's the thing.
The point of a border.
Well, that's the thing is they want to destroy the country. Globalist. These are globalist agendas. They want everyone to be one giant melting pot, which I mean, America already was, but not like that. America has a culture that they're trying to erase.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
If you're on a visa, right? If you legally come to America on a visa and you get a DUI, you're gone. There is no trial, right? You're not going to waste, America's money or taxpayer dollars to process you because that is the law. But if you come in here undocumented or illegal, there's no incentive to deport you.
Yeah, there's that illegal that's been deported 3 or 4 times because of 3 or 4 DUIs. It just had another one and killed somebody.
Yeah.
And they're not going to deport him again.
That's sick, man.
Stupid.
I want to say that was Colorado, but don't quote me on that.
They are punishing the innocent, the civilians, the people who legally come in this country. They are held to a higher standard than the ones that have broken the law to get here.
Yeah.
Hail
Forkin!
What's up, Forkin?
Good evening, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like everything they're doing is just pushing, common sense people farther and farther into a corner. And then someday they're going to do something brash and they're going to make him out to be the bad guy and be like, oh, who radicalized you? It's like you people did by changing all of this stuff and backing me into the corner when I was just trying to be, a good citizen, and you're just doing everything you can to ruin our country.
Thanks.
Some point there's going to be the point where the straw that broke the camel's back and things are not going to go well.
Well, it's why it's called projecting, right? And gaslighting. We call it that because in 2018 you had Don Lemon on CNN talk about the Great Replacement Theory and how they want to replace voters with immigrants. And then theory. They said it as an actual idea. It was part of his show. But if Tucker Carlson brings it up in 2020, he's a racist conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
You guys want to say something weird?
Double standard.
Well, we'll finish this and then I'll show you guys something weird.
Okay. Yeah.
My people just got to me, and I got an interesting kind of like replacement theory type thing that it goes along with that. Sorry, I'm just trying to get that set up.
Tucker's a traitor
because he interviewed Putin.
Honestly, if Tucker does become VP, I would kind of view him as a traitor.
I would be shocked.
He is the most honest and no strings attached journalist. And I think the free voice of Tucker Carlson is more important than him being compromised just to be a good VP. And I don't think the trade-off is worth it.
Yeah, understandable. Hey, you still have a Forkins chat up there, which is making the article a little smaller. Yeah, a little better.
Let me read the next one. Was it
number
10?
I don't know what the hell. Where the Afghan Adjustment Act create a pathway to citizenship. I don't know why we call it that, but creates a pathway to citizenship for over 60,000 poorly vetted Afghans who were brought into the country due to President Biden's disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan.
This is a fucking rhino clause. My God. Did Niki Haley write this?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. You know what? I was joking with someone. Like, how can Niki Haley be the first female president and increase the what's it called? Retirement age by 8 years? And I'm like, are you serious? In 40 years, we're all going to be older and be like, who made a woman president? You kidding me? I can't retire till I'm 70. Never again. How's that going to look?
Yes, it does say poorly vetted. So that is a bit of his spin on this. I mean, that's he's been pretty good about keeping that out. But yes, it does say 60,000 poorly vetted Afghans.
Nikki could be VP. She just
poorly vetted or not vetted at all would be my guess.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, you guys could just come in because We're letting everyone come in. We're not actually doing you any favors.
Niki needs a software update.
Yeah. So number 11 is weakens asylum screenings by codifying Biden policy. Codifies the
Isn't
bottom
that an oxymoron?
asylum screenings.
Biden policy.
Oh, yes. Yeah, well, and we know he didn't come up with any of this.
Yeah, that's true.
Codifies the Biden asylum officer regulation and empowers USCIS asylum officers to grant asylum, withholding of removal, and protection under the Convention against Torture without review by an immigration judge, ensuring significantly higher approval rates. Yeah, this is all this. This is all this. They're just taking out a lot of the middleman, so they don't have to tie up the courts as much. They're just like, you know what? This is just don't go to pass go, collect $200, like. And then no immediate funding for the wall. This bill claims to give $650 million for building the border wall. This is budgeted gimmick. This is a budgeting gimmick. Without any new money, the bill would simply rescind current money and then put it back with a later date, fiscal year 2028, so that President Biden and Secretary Mayorkas don't have to build any wall and can delay spending money on the border. Yeah, they do this shit all the time. I'm kind of surprised nothing about the $60 billion to Ukraine is mentioned in this. Nothing about however many billions we're going to give to Israel and Palestine.
The fuck does Israel need money?
God. Any of the other countries, like, we have too many problems here. No more sending money to other countries until we get stuff figured out here, and it shouldn't be that difficult. But yet we've got, I would say Biden is running the country, but I mean, we all know that's not true. So who is?
I honestly really couldn't. I can entertain the theory, but I really didn't buy that until all the O'Keefe like dates started popping up, where people who work on the staff are just like, yeah, we kind of run the show, man. Yeah, we wish X, Y, and Z were different. We're working on that. It's like, holy crap, it's real. These random people who run the country treat it like a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah,
is scary. Yeah, Savage Dad is agreeing with this a bit in the chat until they change the laws. They should make drinking and drive legal till you're 30.
They should make drinking and driving legal?
Drinking illegal. And the draft illegal.
Oh, the draft.
30.
Oh, okay.
Well, then we might as well move voting back too.
Yeah, no. I'm all about, I think people need to be adults at a younger age. I think that's the problem with most people. Because I hate opening that can of worms, because I don't want sexual consent until you're at least 18. But like, I want adulthood to start earlier. You need to get a job at 16 or 14, like a normal functioning person. Like, it really has helped me. Like, that's why I feel so much different than other people my age, because I just started working younger.
I don't know if I agree with that, but I do think that there should be, I mean, this probably never happened, but there should be more stuff in public schools at the minimum for preparing kids for real life.
Yeah, I had
a woodshop all this class. Stuff. You get taught all this stuff that you're never going to use again, and it's completely irrelevant. Like, if, stuff like taxes, like, you didn't have taught any of that stuff.
I kid you not, like, the woodshop class I took in middle school is the only reason why I was not afraid of a power tool. And I know that sounds silly, but if you've never had, like, we get kids like in construction who are they just, like, day one, they're like, they went to college, couldn't get a job, they stick them out there in the building to bend pipe, and they've never touched a screwdriver, they never touched a measuring tape. You have to teach them like centimeters and 90-degree angles and things that they don't know. But it's just like, if you can get some hands-on experience of just physical labor, it'll prepare you and not have the adult world, air quote, be so scary. Because these kids go to college and they're still kids, and then they get out of college and their degrees are almost useless and they don't know where to go from there and they have zero experience.
Yeah, and no skills.
Yep, no skills.
Which they made fun of on that one of those recent South Park specials where all the plumbers were super rich.
I have a geology degree.
So Mike has bad knees brings up a point here. I could care. He says he
couldn't care less.
He could care less about legal immigration if they had to fend for themselves and weren't receiving the money that gets stolen from me every April. I can kind of agree with that. I don't think we're at a place where we could do something like that right now. Even if we were to take all the tax money out of it, we need to build this country up more. We need to get, there's no reason for the poverty levels and the homelessness levels in this country, with the exception of, the mental health issues that come with all of that. But I wouldn't be against that as long as they weren't getting a handout. That's how it used to be, right? Like we're a nation built on migrants. There was no handouts. As a matter of fact, a lot of people entered into indentured servitude, right? Where you worked for however long until you paid off your trip, and then you were out on your fucking own. Like, we're just not in a place that we could do that because we've got so many people here on welfare as well because they choose to be, not because they actually need to be.
But yeah, I can agree with that to some extent because the fact that they're here illegally is bad enough, but then the fact that they're getting our money too is just like adding insult to injury.
Yes, adding insult to injury. It's just a smack to the face. It's like we don't give a fuck. and there's rules against this, right?
Which is perfectly encapsulated by that meme from that illegal. I think that's who we were talking about earlier. The illegal immigrant. He was walking out of the court or whatever, flipping the double bird, and then he got someone memed with Biden giving him a medal.
I saw that. That was so good. That was so good.
It's so accurate. Yeah, Spartacus's latest comment. That's a good point.
And Professor Savage Dad is also letting everyone know in the Rumble chat that Shot gets rear-ended every Sunday night at 2:35 a.m. I just thought everyone else would like to know that.
And why does he know this at that specific time?
That's a good question. Wonder if he's got something if he's in on it.
But yeah, Sark is saying originally when you migrated here, you weren't promised anything minus the land and the attempt to build something for yourself.
You're not supposed to say that out loud, Cyber Ninja. That's supposed to be a secret that no one talks about.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's so much. So you brought up those. We're at the hour 13 mark. You brought up those two lovely individuals that beat the shit out of a New York City cop, and then they ended up being released with no charges pressed or anything.
More insult to injury. Everything that they did that's happening.
And Mr. TDS himself, Michael Rappaport, had something to say about all of this.
Oh, I have not actually seen the video. I saw it on mute while I was reading the tweet, so I've not actually heard his words.
Oh, it's good. Shock is gone, but he's seen it, so he can catch up when he gets back. Let me share this.
Yeah, while you're bringing that up, the other thing Spartacus said is to what I was saying earlier about teaching you stuff. They don't want to teach us stuff like taxes because that they want us to be stupid and more easily manipulated.
Yeah, because then you can't keep up with it. If you don't know it, you can't ever keep up with all the shit that they're pulling. Yeah. Mr. TDS himself, let's hear what he's got to say.
This is why when I say voting for pig Donald Trump is on the table, voting for pig Donald Trump is on the table. The other day.
Did you hear that?
It's on the table. I didn't know it wasn't on the table.
Well, for him though, for him specifically.
Yep.
This is not the first video he's done like this.
No.
He did one like this like a couple months ago, and it was pretty. I was like, wait, what? This guy is like one of the biggest sufferers of TDS.
Yeah, this is at least the second video that I know of.
I think that's why I'm really worried for him. The fact that he would vote for Trump. like on his scale.
It's like if someone was with a TDS as bad as he has, and he's even considering it, that shows you how bad things are getting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you know what? 50 Cent came out this week that Trump's looking like a good option after he saw the 53 million for the illegal immigrants in New York.
Dude, just wait. At the last minute, Charlemagne might endorse Trump. How insane would that be?
That would be nuts. Did you guys see Nicki Minaj kind of complimenting Ben, saying what Ben Shapiro was saying in that song were facts?
Oh yeah, Nicki's awesome.
Like, what is this world turning to? Shane Gill, whatever his name, that comedian that was fired by Saturday Night Live is now, before he was ever on a fucking show, was fired by Saturday Night Live, is now going to be the host. Like,
I missed that.
Yeah, he was. Is it Shane Gillis or something like that? He's a comedian. He just got.
That's the guy who just got the Bud Light deal, right?
Just got the Bud Light deal. He was fired. So it's kind of like the start of everything was he was hired by SNL, and people found some old mean tweets of his, and so he got fired before ever being on a show, and then now he's going to host it. He's got a date for hosting it coming up.
Yeah, I'd never heard his name until today or yesterday when I heard about the Bud Light deal, so I don't know anything about him.
There's curious things happening.
In New York City, 6 illegal aliens jumped a New York City cop, NYPD's finest. They jumped a New York City cop in Times Square and were arrested and released without bail. I know it's a city thing. I know it's a state thing. I know all that. I know all that. Okay? Stay with me. Released without bail. Came out of the courtroom on some Tupac raising the middle finger with the Detroit Red Wings jersey. Let me tell you something. What the is the world coming to if you could be from another country, beat up a cop in New York City, and walk out with no bail? What the is the world coming to? What the is the world coming to? I know, Mayor Adams, you're from Brownsville, Brooklyn. I know this. Like, what the have I gotten myself into? Stay with me. On the same day that happens, Cadaver Joe Biden.
I love that he calls him Cadaver Joe.
That's good.
Like, he's being honest, and you know what? Even though we disagree with him, that's all he's ever been for himself, right?
I think what's going on in this video is what happens to a lot of people. These older liberals are not as progressive as they want to make themselves out to be.
Okay.
Because grassroots is an open border is an insane idea.
So they actually stand up for the things they believe in.
Yeah. I guess so.
He was just saying, like, what world are we living in where this happens? Like, what world are we living in where him and I agree on something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd ever see the day.
Mm-hmm.
Issues an executive order about 4 quote-unquote settlers in Judea, Samaria, aka the West Bank. Some troublemakers, 3 of the 4 have already been arrested. You issue an executive order about 4 troublemaking ups who've already been arrested in Judea, Samaria, while there's a war going on, while there's 100+ hostages still being held in Gaza. You're talking about that, but you got nothing to say about beating up cops in New York City, the greatest city on earth. Maybe it's not. Maybe my city is not the greatest city on earth anymore. If you could beat up,
I think
how long has it been since it was?
I think that's something really tough to say for people who live and love New York. I think that's something really hard for someone like him to say.
Yeah.
Cops. If you could beat up cops in the quote-unquote greatest city in the world and be released without bail, are we the greatest city on earth? Cadaver Joe Biden, we see you. We see you. Don't worry about those in Israel. BB got them. Israel will take care of them. Worry about cops getting beat up in Times Square and walking out with no bail like the Tupac Shakur. Worry about that
Yeah.
So
it's interesting, though, that he never once brought up Mayor Adams. Right? That's the mayor of New York, right?
Yeah, he did. He said Mayor Adams is from Brownsville,
he?
and he's like familiar with all of that.
Okay.
Because he like knows what he knows like about people from Brownsville, or maybe he's from Brownsville. I don't know what the fuck that means. I'm not a New Yorker. But I want to point out that he had a huge problem with Biden addressing an issue in Israel I don't know, that region where everything's been going on ever since October 7th. And he is a proud Jewish kid who's got, he's wearing the Star of David and everything.
That's why he's so funny.
I'm sure he's been wearing that ever since October 7th, but he's more concerned about what's going on here than what's going on over there, which
always has.
Isn't very common, I feel, in some issues.
Well, look at jail reform. He never
people
from his world with all the hoity-toities. Yeah,
yes, exactly. Yeah, the people in the
common folk. It's like, deal with our stuff first before you start worrying about stuff across on the other side of the world.
But that's why you vote Democrat, because you don't care. You care about you care about being sympathetic about other countries and other worlds and being the world leader. That's what you get when you vote for them.
Yeah, it's like, people try to make it sound like it's so bad that, Trump is America first. It's like, but that means all love Biden, who's America last.
No. If you care about America at all, that makes you a Nazi. That makes you a nationalist. You can't care about your own country.
Yeah. Everyone else can be proud of their countries, but you can't be proud of your own.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can't be shocked when you're
proud. Yeah, are you proud to be a black person? Yes. Are you proud to be a white person? Oh, yes. Oh, you're a racist.
Yep. You can't say that.
So these people
pride.
Yeah, these people can't be shocked when they agree with that sentiment, and then they're shocked when their president doesn't care about their country. They care about the business dealings they have in the Middle East. You can't be shocked. That's what you voted for. You didn't want nationalism. You didn't want any of this. You wanted to go help Israel and Palestine and all. That's what you voted for.
Yeah.
Even the dead people voted for it.
Yeah.
Spartacus here brings up something that
point.
I've been thinking over today for a bit. He says, we told them that what Biden was going to do. We warned them 4 years ago, but they couldn't get past their hatred of Trump.
Nope.
So here's something. So like we see all this crap happening with the border, right? We know the border is pretty simple, right? You only get through if you go through the proper gates. That's the law. And everyone knows that that's not what's actually happening. So for the people who are still in support of all of this, they have chosen to not listen to anyone outside of the mainstream media in order to get their information. So yes, they have put their head
hold up.
You're robot.
You're going robot.
Oh, no.
Oh, you're gone.
No.
It's like 140p on what we're seeing on our end.
Oh my God! Can you guys hear me?
Slideshow.
Okay, I can hear you.
I can hear you now.
Okay, turn your camera off.
Yeah, I'll turn my camera. How is it good? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
you sound good now.
Okay,
you go for it.
So what was it? I was saying that these people, yes, they've put their head in the sand, right? But yet it's also been kind of pushed into the sand by the mainstream media because they just don't know any better as far as that goes. There's a lot of people who are just easily emotionally manipulated. Hence why so many we always go about white woke women, right?
The suburban white mom.
Yes. Well,
in general.
No, not the suburban white mom. The single white women.
Oh, yes.
Not like a specific one, but just like that demographic.
Yes,
not the green-haired, but the blue ones. Okay.
You can play those games all you want. But like there's just this weird fine line because there's been so long where people just went to the news, right? That was all you had. This internet is still a new thing.
Yeah.
Right. And especially it's still with the amount of access. The fact
well, the government didn't really
in our pocket.
Yeah. Like Facebook was a SIA, you know what I mean? Like government like subsidized Facebook, but they didn't really try to control the internet until maybe 2012, 2015.
I don't know how much of that is true.
Oh, well, openly, like in bills.
Okay,
right?
yeah, openly in bills, but like as far as stuff, like okay, Jim Jordan just dropped the Amazon files today, 2 hours before the show went live.
What?
I did not see that.
I don't see that either.
I got it bookmarked. I've not. We can bring it up next week or something if nothing else crazy
My
happens.
bad. Not to derail. Continue with your point. My bad.
Well, my point is like people need to accept responsibility. Like these people can be blamed, but yet it's not entirely their fault because they might just not know better.
No.
The idea of getting your information not at CNN, Fox, MSNBC, and any of those other countries that fall underneath those same countries.
I think Americans, when you compare America to Europe, the states are countries, dude. Like America's huge.
Well, yeah, exactly. But like I'm talking about any of those other like Vox and all those other media companies that fall underneath the same exact umbrellas that are owned by the same exact parent companies as Fox News and all that shit. People are just so used to that being the acceptable source that they've never ever thought outside of that system. And also we could blame that on the school system for not teaching people how critical thinking.
Yep. School used to be about teaching you how to think, not what to think. Now it's the other way around.
Oh, yeah, I got lucky with my 7th grade and 8th grade history teacher. I thank God for that man.
My year was the last year of that stuff, dude. I swear. But I would say like the bigger problem, well, it's just like if I had to fix one thing, right? We don't want stupid voters who don't know what they're voting for to vote, but
That's what we got.
You can't regulate that. So I think what's more important is why like they always talk, like Breitbart always talks about culture is down, all right, politics is downstream from culture. Right? The Hollywood idiots, the Taylor Swifts that are making Joe Biden cookies. That is what's promoting.
She has great taste in men.
I get, yeah, she sure does. Yeah, to make hit songs about them. But it's the Hollywood influence that is making the dumb people vote. And if you keep all the politics out of the culture, you get politics is pop culture right now, and that needs to be fixed. The politics got to get out of the pop culture because that's why dumb people vote. That's my point. But what do you think about that, Neo?
I was just gonna say, along the lines of what we were just talking about a second ago. What did I just say? About school teaching you how to, it should be about how to think and not what to think. I saw nothing to do with politics, but on Side Scrollers yesterday, they covered this guy, just asking, like someone was asking him questions. I think it was about, I was only listening to it while I was working, so I only got bits and pieces, but basically he was asking this guy questions about, I think it was like Gina Carano being, a hateful bigot. Yeah. And he was like, oh, okay. So like, I've heard this, what have you heard? And he's like, yeah, I've heard this too. He's like, oh, okay, but what do you know? He's like, oh, I don't know. I haven't seen it myself. I just heard it from others. And so he's like, okay, well, can you show any evidence of that of her being a hateful bigot and like, leading him to the conclusion, rather than just saying, no, you're wrong. And he like goes, okay, yeah, I haven't seen any and I can't find any. And
their favorite MCU superhero, they follow them on Twitter and they said it. That's their proof. Mark Ruffalo said it. That's it.
Yeah. So it's like too many of these people, just go with whatever they've heard rather than looking at anything, even at surface level on their own.
Yep.
And that's part of the problem is that people just, especially when you have, CNN, should be a trusted news source, but they constantly lie to the American people.
Yep.
And yet that's still where a lot of people Yeah, I mean, it's definitely taken a dive from where it was a few years ago, but still, like, older people who may not be, keep up on things, as well as some of us do, still get like their mainstream news from, what should, for all intents and purposes, not be considered credible news sources anymore. Because if your job is to report the news and tell us the facts and you're not doing that, what purpose do you serve?
But what incentive do they have to tell objective news if they're not getting the viewership, right? If you're not getting
that
the
shouldn't
ads,
be why you should be doing it, though.
no, but you need that's why free market solves everything, because you need an incentive. Because if you don't have an economic incentive, you are easily controlled by the government or a union or a monopoly. Like Spartacus, I can't bring up his chat right now, but he mentions that tax-funded education has become about obedience to the government. That's what happens when the government runs the show. Do you think they teach people not to trust them? Back in the day, unions used to also control. It was who's that dude from New York again? It was
the mayor?
No. The billionaire. He has that ice rink.
Rockefeller?
Yes, Rockefeller. He's the one that started the idea of like schools to prepare them to work in factories.
I heard about that.
And later it was actual constructional unions. So it's always whoever's handling the money, whoever's dealing the cards, that's who benefits. So the reason why free market is always the best solution is because if our viewership, right, and we see ads when we see CNN, which means those people say, hey, you get a lot of eyes on your show, right? So that means we're getting our product out there. So if we can incentivize and reward good news coverage, it incentivizes them to cover the news. But when your reputation is so shot, nobody's going to give you a chance. So you have to rely on either pharmaceutical companies or government subsidizing. So the point is that there is no financial backing for them, to be honest, at this point. They have to double down with whatever their corporate or government narrative is. That's why the internet is independent journalism. People would rather give Tim Pool $5 or Steven Crowder $20 and watch them digest the news for them. It's independent. And once you like piss off your audience, you lose the money. So
I agree with you, Shock. And unfortunately, it seems like it's gone backwards, right? Like you put out a good product and people would want to advertise on your product, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But now it's like, wait, if we don't do what these people who want us to advertise want.
Yes.
Because we need their money, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's completely gone backwards now. It's we need their money, so we can't upset them instead of taking anyone's money
more
who has
backwards than that, because you have Disney and you have like the Soroses that are like, hey, we need LGBT inclusivity, equity. We need this to be popular. You need to undo and rewrite everything that's unpopular and force certain behaviors. The World Economic Forum specifically said we need to force new behaviors.
Yeah.
So the people that are actually selling the advertisements, like, hey, we know what sells. We want to change what sells. So it's even more backwards than it's so backwards that it's backwards. It's like a fifth dimension of backwardsness, man.
backwards to the nth degree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because one thing I've thought about for a while is along those lines, in even more in the political sphere is rather than just like, government funded or whatever news outlets, like you were saying, they're pandering to what makes money, not doing what they do and hoping to get funded. It's basically like that for a lot of politicians. It should be where, hey, these are my values. This is what I stand for. And if you also support that, you can donate money to me to support me because you want to get me into whatever position. Now, it's not like that. It's like, oh, I don't have any values of my own. I'm just going to say whatever, X donor wants me to say so I can get his money, and that's completely crooked. And
when it's for a lot of independents and conservatives, they are honest until the person that dones them it conflicts of interest, like Fox. They were
until it should be no strings attached
until you talk about the pokes, until you talk about pharmaceutical companies. Fox was very willing to show the other side our opinion on things, report on the news that we wanted to see. But all of a sudden, the pharmaceuticals said, you took a step too far, Fox. You're done. We you know.
Yeah, it's backwards. It's a broken system is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's in their interest to just tear everything apart. They need the radicalization they think they need the radicalization to get headlines and shit like that. And that's why clickbait is a thing, right? Fuck the mainstream media. Yep. Someone earlier, so I was going to save I had been making plans for the weekend pregame show. And like these two shows walk a fine line of being different. They're both political. This is more political in nature because we definitely talk more about politicians and such, whereas the other one's more like social political. But we're doing a different episode this week where we're talking about what is woke. So I need help with something. This has been going around the internet, and someone mentioned her earlier. Have you guys seen this?
I mean, I've heard the thought that she's a psyop, but I don't know if I've seen this specific clip.
I want to know if this is real because you guys have also I'm sure you guys have seen something similar to this. I don't know if I believe this I don't know if I believe this one.
Good morning. Taylor Swift is not a psyop.
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 This is fake as fuck.
This is fake.
I need to now go watch Benny Johnson's show to see if he's actually like.
I think they took because I recognize some of these people because there's a clip that's basically this exact thing where it's all these different news stations literally parroting the exact same words word for word. Yeah, and what they are actually saying is something about all the anti-Trump stuff and that is very dangerous to our democracy.
Yes, that's what it's. This is a meme. This is a joke. Okay. This is a meme. This is 100% a meme.
That's probably why it said is not a psyop because it's
I just recognized the video that Nerdy Neo was talking about. This is a threat to our democracy. Yeah. They just changed it. This is a meme
to our democracy. Every single one says a word for word.
Yeah, no, this is kind of clickbaity stuff.
Because I saw this was you can't see it now, but there's like a little Benny Johnson watermark.
No, I see it.
Like I didn't see his episode, but
they probably just dubbed the audio over that video that I was talking about because that's basically exactly what they're doing.
No, I agree with Benny's take. It's a little clickbaity, shock value a bit, but his thing is why did the Fed have to come out and say she's not a Fed? And then 8 months ago, why did the Fed have such an interest in her? Oh, now he's just kind of connecting the dots and being like, all right, we'll see. But, but when it comes to it, like attracting viewers, that's just the game of social media is shock value and clickbait. And it's also just a meme. Once I recognized what it was, it was just funny.
So on to something much more serious and concerning. We're gonna read this whole story here because I don't know exactly what's going on, but I saw this.
Yeah. Oh my God. I found out about this and I went and looked up the tweet for it because I saw Quartering did a video on it today. I was like, stuff like this makes my blood boil.
Yeah. So breaking: Montana family reportedly facing imminent arrest after transgendered daughter was removed from their custody.
Yeah. That's here in the States. I've heard about stuff like this overseas. This is the first time I'm hearing about it here in our country.
Not just any state, but fucking Montana.
Yeah. I figured that would be a red state.
What might be considered the last real cowboy state, right?
Right.
I mean, well, okay, I can't speak.
No, the Dakotas.
I can't speak for Kansas or for Nebraska and the
Nebraska,
Dakotas,
Dakota,
Oklahoma,
and
and
Idaho.
oh shit, there's people in Texas. There might be people in Texas watching this. Sorry, Texas.
Yeah, you pissed off Texas
because they do have a lot of land to actually be cowboys out there too.
Yeah,
Professor Savage Dad covered this on his Dadcast.
Oh, really?
Too bad that
today.
Austin is tainting. I think it's Austin, right? Is tainting Texas.
Yeah, Austin. But there's a lot of land outside of Austin,
right?
And then also, like, you could also argue Houston and Dallas. So let's read this here. The family at the center of the custody battle with Montana Child and Family Services over their 14-year-old transgender daughter is reportedly facing imminent arrest after speaking to media about their ordeal. What?
Yeah, they basically violated a gag order because, of course, the court wouldn't want you talking about this when they're trying to illegally take your kids away from you.
You can't put a gag order on U.S. citizens, the government. You literally can't do that. Krista
and they shouldn't.
Whoa!
But
wait! Whoa!
Keep doing stuff that should be illegal, but they get away
ordered
with it.
By the judge to remain silent on
hold
the
on,
case. How do you enforce that?
So Krista and Todd Kolstad had previously been ordered by a judge to remain silent on the case, but chose to speak out about their situation. That is a constitutional violation by that judge. That judge should be fired. That judge needs to be disbarred, I believe.
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
On my tweet, I said everyone who's complicit in this should be locked up. This is criminal to the nth degree.
Mm-hmm.
This is sickening and disgusting abuse of power.
So Redux was the first. Let me blow ourselves. Redux was the first to break the story after speaking to the Kolstads about their tragic situation on January 29th. In the interview, the Kolstads revealed that their 14-year-old daughter, Jennifer, had been removed from their custody after they declined to actively affirm her newfound gender identity. Montana Child and Family Services argued to a court that it was in the child's therapeutic best interest to have her gender identity respected, and a petition was presented for the child to be sent to a family member in Canada. This student had a teacher that looked like this.
Probably. So this Jennifer is adopted, and the person they're sending to is their biological mother in Canada, who they've never had a relationship with.
Oh.
Which they'll probably get to in the next paragraph, but yeah, if it doesn't cover that.
The removal of the culmination of a months-long battle between Kolstads and the CFS, which started on August 18th, 2023, so 5 months ago, after Jennifer claimed to be a friend that she was suicidal and suffering.
Claimed to a friend.
Yeah, after Jennifer claimed to a friend that she was suicidal and suffering from terminal cancer.
Which is not true.
The friend reported the claims to police, who reached out to the Kolstads to confirm that Jennifer was all right. Who's this? What friend? How old was this friend?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Later, I need to know how old this friend is, because if this is an adult, you got problems.
Yeah, watch it be, a teacher like the one that you just highlighted a second ago is the friend.
Later on that evening, a CFS caseworker arrived at the Kolstad home for an inspection and private interview with Jennifer, at which point the child declared she had drank toilet bowl cleaner and overdosed on pain medication. Yeah, at their home. And she wasn't sick or fucked up or anything?
Yeah, right in the next sentence here.
So, though she showed no symptoms of illness and had no access to either substances, Jennifer was taken to the hospital on an emergency basis for blood work, which conclusively determined she had fabricated her claim of overdosing. She also does not have a medical history of cancer, despite having claimed to her friend that she was terminal. What is wrong with this little girl? Or this little boy?
Yeah,
messed up in the head and lying, and then the state takes them away and threatens to arrest the parents. This is disgusting.
Well, but what are the parents doing that's making her behave like this as well?
That's
you know what I'm saying? Like, who's influencing her to behave like this?
It could be a lack of influence too, right? Because if you make your kid have a strict schedule, you know what I mean? Like you make them clean their room, you make them do chores, you make them work at Burger King, you make them do sports, it's viewed as like over parenting.
Right.
You put restrictions on your kids and you're told by like it could be your pastor, it could be school, it could be family, it could be CNN, you know what I mean? It could be social media. Like I think parents are afraid to parent their kids more.
Yeah, and you know what? I think the babysitter might have been the iPad.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, the iPad, of course.
I'm thinking TikTok, possibly.
Yep. Oh yeah, TikTok.
The Kolstads.
If you take it away from her, she freaks out.
Yeah. The Kolstads attempted to inform CFS that Jennifer had a tendency of attention-seeking behavior and fabricating wild claims, but throughout the incident, Jennifer's gender identity was the main point of contention. The child told CFS she identified as a boy named Leo and that her parents were abusive and not willing to facilitate her transgender transition. So already, this girl is known for lying about having cancer, lying about taking drugs, lying about drinking toilet bowl cleaner.
Real quick, biologically, is it a boy or a girl?
It's a girl. This is a girl
trying to be a boy.
Yeah, she told CFS that she identified as a boy. So okay.
These are very female behaviors, like especially in girls. I know that's funny, but it's not funny. Okay?
It's funny because it's the irony. Yes,
it's true. These are very normal female behaviors of a girl lashing out.
That is a good point. I was under the impression that it was a boy pretending to be a girl, given that it said transgender daughter.
I don't know much about Redux.
That means that they have transitioned into a girl. Transgender woman means you transition to a woman.
Yeah, but I don't think Redux play those games.
Oh, god dang!
I don't know.
Right.
The site, you're right. I believe the site has a little bit of controversy behind it. I don't know anything about it. But
interesting.
So where do we leave off?
But okay, I had that backwards, but it doesn't change anything.
No, yeah, I get it. That's confusing though.
Trying to find where I left off here. Okay, so this part
right there.
Jennifer spent 2 days in the hospital for suicide monitoring, at which point, oh gosh, imagine what the crap she was telling the doctors in there at that point. At which point the Kolstads agree with CFS that she would benefit from being sent to a residential treatment facility for counseling, while there were a number of Montana-based facilities floated as options. The possibility of Jennifer being sent to Wyoming was also mentioned as an unlikely alternative.
What does that have? Going to a different state for what?
Because Montana doesn't have the resources. This is what the Child Family Services was recommending.
Go seek asylum in a sanction that offers gender affirming care or whatever. Is that their fucking terminology?
Yeah, but Wyoming wouldn't be one to have a whole lot of that either.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
I wouldn't think so.
It'd be like
Wyoming
Minnesota.
might literally be called the Cowboy State.
Wyoming, yeah. I think it'd be like Minnesota or something would be closest to them. Or Washington, I don't know.
Well, Oregon,
Washington.
Yeah, Oregon, Washington, yeah. So, wow, this all started August 18th. And so we're already on August 22nd, the Kolstads were told that Jennifer was next in line for a bed in Billings. Okay, that's one of the bigger cities in Montana. But later on that same day, they received a call from the hospital informing them that she was instead being sent to an unnamed facility in Wyoming. Wow.
So, yeah, they're taking your kid to another state and not even telling you where.
Yeah.
That's freaking abduction.
Yeah, that's kidnapping, man.
That's kidnapping.
Hell, that is the government. Oh my God. You sue.
Holy crap.
Faced with a number of...
And not like the Indian Sioux from around that area.
God.
Yeah. Faced with a number of unanswered questions and concerns about Wyoming's laws allowing children to transition, the Kolstads expressed a hesitancy to allow Jennifer to be sent across state lines. Yeah, no. This
hesitancy is not putting it strongly enough.
This is no.
Like F no.
This is nope. Within 10 minutes of refusing to immediately sign paperwork, Within 10 minutes of refusing to immediately sign paperwork releasing Jennifer to the facility, Montana Child and Family Services arrived at the Kolstad residence with police and served them paperwork temporarily removing Jennifer from their custody. So if this is true,
10 minutes.
They were ready to cook.
Yeah. This is talk about freaking disgusting agenda. You wouldn't want to have your kid taken away, do you? You better sign here.
You know what? I should reach out to Hora Amarada. She lives out in Montana, and I wonder if her local news is covering this in another way.
That's a good idea.
Jennifer was eventually returned to Montana to enter a youth group home for additional counseling, but the Kolstad's fight with CFS had only just begun. Yeah, it has, because they literally just kidnapped your daughter. Though initially told, what possible right could they have to do that?
Yeah, they don't.
Like they just
they're so crooked. They just do whatever they want.
Your kids. You don't have those aren't your kids anymore. Jennifer was
Professor Savage on Rumble says, "This is why you stay armed. I would have taken her back and left for Texas."
But people in Montana are armed.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, I want to put it past them to have a piece or two.
Yeah, it reminds me of, I think it was it Biden at one point that said something about like, these are our kids.
Oh, they all say it.
Yeah.
These are not your kids. They do not belong to the government. They belong to the parents.
No, they all say that. They all say our children.
I think I have a clip of Biden doing that in a very weird way recently.
It's pretty easy to find it. They say it all the time.
So, though initially told that Jennifer would be returned to their care after her time at the group home was finished, CFS petitioned the court to remove Jennifer from their custody completely and have her sent to her long estranged biological mother in Canada. Remember how I was talking about that Pizzagate stuff earlier? This is the kind of shit that happens that enables that.
Yep.
We were told that letting Jennifer transition and live as a boy was in her therapeutic best interest, and because we weren't willing to follow that recommendation, the court gave CFS custody of Jennifer for 6 months.
Disgusting.
Krista told Redux, CFS is now going to place Jennifer in the care of her birth mother in Canada, who has never really been a part of her life. The judge said to us, you need to expect that reunification with your family may not be what you are expecting. Okay, that's a quote within a quote, because I'm like, I mean, that sounds like something a dipshit judge would say, right? Because this is you need to expect that reunification with your family may not be what you're expecting. What did you say?
Yeah,
you need to stop. You need to, yeah. But could you imagine if they actually said, you know what you want isn't going to happen?
Yeah. That's so criminal. Sue the bejesus out of this court,
out of every single last one of them.
Every single person who's defending this should be disbarred, if not freaking put away. This is government sanctioned kidnapping.
Oh, you know what? You're right, Spartacus. They do use that. They use the term, it takes a village to raise a child, to justify their reason to deconstruct the family.
I was going to point that out too. It's a shame that they like hijack and steal these words that have always had a different meaning, and then they just
gaslight.
Dude, they pervert it. That's what they do. They pervert it. To normal people are afraid to use the word. Myself, I'm afraid to use the word community because it's not what it means anymore.
I've always wondered about the word community.
I wonder what it means. Definition.
Because it is very close.
This part is, and it gets even better. I forgot about this part. But yeah, the governor, I think, of Montana agreed with this.
Oh, you know what? I think I see Hora Amarada tearing his ass up every so often on Twitter. So... Okay, so in response to the decision, the Kolstads released a video on social media pleading for help. The court demanded they removed it and issued a gag order restricting the Kolstad from speaking further on the case.
Get that BS out of here. You can't tell me not to talk about criminal activity that the government is doing.
Where's Duke Devil when I need him?
Right.
Yeah, he was here earlier.
How do you get... Yeah, it's 1 o'clock or... No, it's midnight over there now. He might be in bed. Also, with this level of trolling, I'm pretty sure he was drinking. They voluntarily defied the order, re-uploaded the video, and spoke to press regardless out of concern over what was happening to their family, while a contempt of court hearing was set for January 29th. Wow, they waited all the way from August to January to do this? The Kolsteds had to file for a continuance in order to leave the state and attend a severely ill family member in Ohio. That's unfortunate. But the already mind-boggling story has only continued to grow in complexity after Governor of Montana, Greg Giantard, released a statement on X, formerly Twitter, siding with the decision of the state's Child and Family Services. Well, that's not for you to decide either. While not directly accusing the Kolstads of abuse, Giantard suggested that Jennifer was removed from the household for legitimate reasons.
Legitimate reasons.
To give them their best shot at reaching their full potential, children deserve to grow up happy, healthy homes with loving
That's
families.
what they had.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that's what they had. Hi, Greg. I reviewed the Child Family Service petition in this case, too. The entire argument that CFS relied upon the child was abused and neglected was based on the fact that the parents didn't want her sent to Wyoming-based resident. And this is after she had already established that she was kind of not okay to begin with claiming to have drank something like toilet bowl cleaner. Who says
having terminal cancer?
And having terminal cancer.
Yeah, and they're trying to, make the people who are trying to get the word out there about this crime being committed, make them look like the bad guys. Corruption.
So while the CFS affidavit does extensively detail the child's complaints of abuse for not being affirmed in her desire to live as a boy, the argument made by CFS that resulted in her being removed from her parents' care was their hesitancy to immediately sign paper. That's exactly what it seems like, because that's why else were they there in 10 minutes? They knew that's what was going to happen.
You better sign this or else.
But how could you force anyone to do that? Like, it's almost like they think the parents were mentally incapable of doing anything, much unlike they think this daughter was completely able to call all the shots.
She's a child. She can't do that.
They can't consent to all these other things, but nope.
Yeah.
You can consent to
Puberty
changing your
blockers.
gender at whatever age you feel like it. But no, you can't drink until you're 18.
It starts with just the puberty blockers, right? It's simple.
No, it starts with the clothes.
Okay, but
at a biological level, I think is what your meaning is, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like, I get it. I get that argument. But for the most part, if a boy, like, if a progressive, like, gay parents, like, have like an adopted kid and he wears dresses and they don't let him transition or take puberty blockers, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, I understand we know where the influences come from, but to just be hard and straightforward, it's the puberty blockers, because the puberty blockers fuck them up and it makes them commit even harder to transitioning until
they parrot this point that the puberty blockers are completely reversible, which is a lie.
That's a lie.
Yeah, this is fair as well. It starts with you can be a boy when you're born a girl.
Nope.
Yeah, I wish I would have saved this tweet. I saw this great tweet talking about mental illness and how we didn't affirm it until now.
What does that mean?
About how, like, we didn't affirm the people with multiple personality disorder, how we didn't tell them, yes, you are hearing voice and all of this shit. And then, like, but now we affirm, what's it called?
Gender dysphoria?
Yeah, gender dysphoria. I was like, gender disassociation?
Affirming all illnesses don't help the people. They need to catch up with society if they're going to function as adults. And once you tell them game on, then usually when their back's against the walls and they have to cooperate as an adult, they work through these mental illnesses. Like, I know people that have like schizophrenia, and then they've said, like, if people just like let me be in my room all day and let the voices talk to me and tell me that everything's okay, I wouldn't have gotten through with it. I wouldn't be a functioning adult now if someone affirmed me. If my dad didn't drag my ass out and said, hey, you work for me, go dig a hole. Go be an adult. But when you affirm them, you don't help them through their problems.
Yeah. Being a good friend isn't always telling your friend what they want to hear.
Yeah.
So do we want to read the rest of this?
I think that pretty much sums up
fuck these people. Summary.
It looks very firmly like the parents are getting fucked by the state.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a lot of it like I've got some questions, and I think the biggest one is this. Who is this?
That is a very good question.
Reported. I want to know who that is.
Yeah, could that be the person who's influencing them? Like, oh yeah, you should totally report this.
Is this like if this was like another? I don't know how old how old this girl is. Yeah, if this is another 13, 14-year-old, who told their parents, and then their parents did something retarded and called the police instead of talking to the fucking parents, because people are retarded like that these days.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. But if this is an adult or a teacher or someone, I have high suspicion of abuser.
Yeah. Probably someone who should be on a list, most likely.
We need to go out on a high note. I can't end on that.
Okay. Do you have something lined up? You can pull up the other.
We've got
the Newsom. Yeah.
Okay. That works too.
That was funny. We talked about it though.
I was gonna say you could bring up the other thing that I put in there.
Let's go dunk on Newsom and call it a night.
Other thing? Let me look at that.
The Alvin Bragg thing. But Newsom's good too.
The Alvin Bragg thing. Oh, you know what? This is funny. This is good. Let me pull up the article from the Post Millennial.
Good to see what Professor Savage Dad said.
And then, you know what? This even fits in earlier with what we were talking about with those illegal immigrants that got away scot-free after beating the crap out of a car. Out of a cop.
They beat the crap out of a car? Like in Street Fighter?
Kind of, yeah. You never done that in real life?
Nope, can't say that I
have. So judge dismisses Alvin Bragg's felony case against Vax card forgers, says DA has let criminal offs for much less.
Damn. I almost got one of those.
If it had gotten... That was my first thought when they started talking about this whole Vax passport thing. Like, how, like, there's not like some standardized thing. Like, how is someone going to know if it's legit or not? It's like you just print one and say, yeah, I've got one.
And it's not even like they used a rubber stamp or anything.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so this scumbag, Alvin Bragg, is, I don't know, he's attorney in New York, I think, right?
Manhattan. He's the guy who let the illegal aliens go.
Okay.
Yeah.
That I did not know that, but that lines up perfectly. But yeah, so this scumbag, Alvin Bragg, was trying to bring a case against a couple of people for having forged vaccine passports, and the case got thrown out by the judge because Alvin Bragg has let off actual criminals who have done actual crime with not even a slap on the wrist, and he's trying to bring this case against people for having a fake vax passport when that was never legal in the first place. Disgusting. This guy should be disbarred and should not be allowed to practice law.
Yeah, he let all of 2020 happen. Well, actually, I don't know if he was in charge then, but New York let them all go. The summer of love. So let's see if we get more on this judge here. Bragg
he is a moron.
Bragg and his office moved to dismiss significantly more serious counts or entire indictments, the judge wrote. I love this. And also, if you want one of those cards, just let me know.
Professor Savage on Rumble says, kiss my ass.
Kiss his ass?
Kiss my ass, Alvin Bragg.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You know what? All the attorney generals can kiss my ass. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg attempted to charge 2 New York residents with felonies for having false vaccine passports, while he has let off others charged with far worse crimes scot-free. Hey, that's exactly what I just said.
Nice.
I forgot that he tried to charge them with not just like a misdemeanor, but a felony.
New York
for doing something that was never legal in the first place.
Exactly. That and you know what? I wish that's what the judge would have said. I wish the judge would have been like, you weren't allowed to do this in the first place. New York State Supreme Court Justice Brendan T. Lantry dismissed the felony charges against the residents identified as J.O. and R.V. in the decision who had brought the forged vax passports, usurping Bragg's decision. I want to know what they had to use them for.
I like this guy already.
The judge said the 2 were among 16 others that Bragg had cherry-picked, interesting choice of words there, that's a quote, to prosecute according to the case. Lantry slammed Bragg in the decision decided at the New York Supreme Court on January 30th. The judge wrote in the opinion, clearly criminal possession of a forged instrument in the second degree is not among the most serious crimes in the New York penal law, nor are they factual allegations against defendants RV and JO particularly serious in this nature. Yeah, I wish you would have went after him on the legitimacy of that law. Moreover, the factual allegations that defendants purchased fake COVID-19 vaccinations cards so that they could provide same to their employer. They needed this for their employer and school. What? Do not rise to the level of the majority of the crimes adjudicated in the Supreme Court in New York County, namely homicide, sexual assaults, drug sale, robbery, burglary, and other violent and non-violent serious felony offenses. He was like, why are you putting this is not worth my time, is what he was trying to say.
Yeah. As he should, although it never should have gotten that far in the first place, but at least this garbage got thrown out.
The judge expanded on the decision that Bragg and his office almost daily moved to dismiss significantly more serious counts you know what? This is okay. I'm going to finish reading this. The judge expanded on the decision that Bragg and his office almost daily moved to dismiss significantly more serious counts or entire indictments and avoid harsher penalties for far more violent and convicted felons, like all the people robbing Walgreens. Bragg also recently allowed a group of all but a single illegal immigrants to be released without bail after they allegedly beat up 2 NYPD officers. He later defended this, saying that the video evidence was not enough to hold the foreign nationals. The illegal aliens. New York City government officials, including Bragg, have faced increasing scrutiny over the government's lackluster effort to control crime in the city, as well as the high influx of illegal immigrants. And that's that.
Yeah, stuff like that, man. He needs to be.
So this
he needs to be disbarred for crap like this.
This brings up an interesting idea. So the judge was like, "This is petty bullshit. I work much more important cases, right?" And that's why he didn't want to deal with this, essentially.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame him. And I'm glad he dismissed these cases because that should have never been legal at all. In New York, it's legal though, apparently. I don't know what the hell you need them for. But if the DA doesn't charge harsher crimes and then the judges don't want to work the lesser crimes, is there a justice system?
Nope.
You know, like I'm not like I'm definitely not one that's saying we should be prosecuting speeding tickets and shit like that. Like, you know,
yeah.
Right.
Well, usually
or
like
possession
but that they do because it helps fund them for not having to do any work.
Sheriffs are supposed to be elected, but reality is America is so big that things are just legislated like carried out with like just cops, people who are hired, right? And there's too many laws that are being introduced into our society right now that are being passed on the local level, and the judges just don't want anything to do about it. You know what I mean? They either just like follow what's new, right? Follow what got you there, what got you elected, and then you know what I mean? Because the judges need to sort out what's actual child abuse, right? But more local elections are passing gender affirming care and more complicated things into our systems that the judges are supposed to strike down the times where it doesn't make sense. But the judges aren't doing their jobs. In the legislation, it's not enforceable. So we just live in a chaotic society where injustice happens.
I'm trying to think, like, because you brought up the trans thing, and it's like that one's really weird. But the with the kids, it shouldn't matter. With the kids, it should not. Like, I mean, it should matter. Meaning, it should not be an option. I mean, we don't let them drink.
Tattoos.
We don't let them shit. In Arizona, you got to be 21 to smoke a cigarette now. I didn't even know that. I think that's wild.
Is it still 16 to have someone buy you one? In California,
that was never a thing here.
Oh, really? That's a California law. If you're 16, someone can buy you one cigarette.
When I was 16,
I've never heard that.
I had to
I'm
hang
from
out
Riverside.
in front of the gas station and ask people to go buy cigarettes for me.
Yeah, and that was legal if they only gave you one.
Or the delivery drivers I worked with at whatever pizza job I was working.
Nice.
That's crazy because I heard about it was probably like a year ago, but I heard about a grocery store who refused to sell this dad who had his like 2 little kids with him. They refused to sell him like a case of beer that he wanted.
Yeah, I've heard of that happening before.
It's like he's not buying it so minors can drink. You can obviously know that he's buying it for himself. They refuse to sell it to him. It's like, are you freaking kidding me?
Oh, so I guess federally you now have to be 21 to buy tobacco. I think that's fucking retarded.
Dude, enough with the federal laws, man.
Like, what?
Tired federal laws.
If you can go die for your country, you should be allowed to drink. You should be allowed to smoke.
Hell yeah.
And you know what? I also think you should be allowed to take shrooms, but that's just me.
I think most people draw the line at like heroin, right?
Well, I'm one of those. It should all be legal.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
oh wow, all of it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, all of it. Just because we know so much about it already.
I don't know. It's just I principally agree, but then there's the state's just gonna be their own cartel, dude.
They already are, though.
Yeah, they already are. I had this conversation over and over with people. It's true.
Like, and that idea is a very dangerous and lots of potential for things to go terribly wrong.
Well, here's the thing. We got illegal aliens that aren't getting prosecuted for drinking and driving, man. What if they're doing all the legal drugs and driving?
Yeah, what does it matter? What do all these laws matter if one can't be upheld?
So in 2014, when Joe Rogan and Crowder had that that big argument, should weed be legal or whatnot? And I'm just like, if a dude smokes a blunt and drives, he's going to jail, obviously. Like, that was like always the argument. But now DAs aren't incriminating criminals. So that's going to make people even more afraid to legalize this stuff.
Yeah. What's the point of laws if they don't get enforced?
Yep.
Only time I rejected someone their alcohol, which was when they didn't have their ID. Yep. And that was because of the store policy. Yeah, no ID. Yeah, exactly. I had that happen to me so many fucking times when I was legal.
Yeah.
You
should have an ID, man. That's fine by me.
You got the local corner store. You just walk down there and you left your driver's license on your desk for some dumb reason that you don't even know. It happens.
Sounds to me like you don't know how to get an ID or where the DMV is.
I didn't know you were black, static.
Yeah, good point. They might not be white and they don't know how to do that.
Yeah, they're too dumb apparently.
All right, gentlemen. Let's wrap
show.
this up. We're at 2 hours and 14 minutes. Nerdy Neo, let the people know where they can find you. Let them know what you got going on.
Hello again. Yeah, I'm Nerdy Neo. I am a big gamer, so that's basically all I do on my channel. So if you like gaming discussion, that's primarily what I do. Occasionally I stream games, but I more so like talking about them. So I do open mic typically on Thursday nights where I have a guest on. We just talk about video games wherever the conversation goes. And then on Saturday, every other Saturday, it'll be this upcoming Saturday, I have Party Chat where we get together and talk about fun video game topics. And today, this upcoming Saturday is going to be a bit of a special event where it is the last Party Chat before Valentine's Day. So I had the fun idea to, it's going to be, other than myself, it's going to be an all ladies panel. So
okay,
nice.
The ladies Party Chat.
I thought maybe you were going to pull a James and do something about dating sims,
or put Oreos on your nipples.
No, but Kay is going to be on the panel, as is Horror Amarada and Nadia from Inside All Day podcast.
Oh, hell yeah.
And green-haired anti-liberal. As long as they all remember that they said that they would join. I'm going to mess with them.
Well, they're women. You better remind them.
I want to say I've had all of them on except for Nadia. They're all good. They're all good people.
Yeah. So that's that'll be a little bit different Party Chat than normal, but I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
That does sound cool. What time is that at again?
That'll be at 11:30 a.m. Pacific.
Nice.
What day?
On Saturday.
Saturday. Nice. Sounds fun.
Yes, right before the meme stream.
Yes. Yeah, meme stream typically end. Well, this one may go a little longer than usual. We typically go about 90 minutes because my typical co-hosts, Mark the Cyborg and Ryan from Legion Games, have other streams that they need to get to. But since they won't be on this one, Mark is out of the country this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
But we will probably go a little bit longer because normally we have 4 people on the panel, but this is going to be 5. So it'll probably take a little bit longer, but it's going to be fun.
Isn't Mark always out of the country?
No, he's in.
That's a good point. Yes, because he is in Canada. No, he's going to be
Canadians.
He's. I think he's going to be in the Caribbean or something. He's going on a trip.
Oh,
okay. So he'll be away. Him and X-Ray Girl are going to be traveling, so they won't. Mark won't be able to join because I wanted to have X-Ray Girl as one of the panelists as well because I haven't had her on. But he's like, "Yeah, we're going to be we're going to be traveling." I'm like,
dang,
he's busy. She goes from Orlando to the Caribbean.
I was just gonna say, holy crap!
Don't quote me on that's where they're going to be. I just remember he said that they're going to be traveling, and it sounded like it was somewhere for fun,
somewhere nice and beachy. Well, that sounds awesome. I look forward to Saturday. I will definitely be watching that. That sounds like an interesting show. Shock, what have you got going on? Let the people know where they can find you.
I am Shaka Zulu 12 on YouTube. I make YouTube videos when I get the chance. I will try to get one this week. And then I also stream on Kick a lot. Shaka Zulu 1 on Kick. And I do have a Truth Social if you want to follow me there. That's Shaka Zulu 1. I made it a long time ago. I just posted our show on there.
That's like a confession.
I have a truth. Hey, listen. It's not the best social media. Like, you get the truth. I was actually a big Gab guy. I used to be on Gab and I loved it. Dude, I wish the CEO of Gab wasn't such an idiot.
Oh, Gab.
Because Gab had traction.
Gab was interesting. Gab was an interesting place.
At first, I thought you said I'm a big Gav guy, like Gavin Newsom. I'm like,
big Gab. He's a moderate now, so I can vote for him.
Like, Gab, the social media. Okay, that makes more sense.
Gab banned sports. Like, you're stupid. You're not a social media anymore then if I can't post sports.
They banned sports?
Pretty much. He de-algorithmized it. He took out the hashtags of it, and he didn't want sports to be on his platform. I'm like, what do you mean your platform?
Well, I mean, it is technically his.
But no, he advertised it as a free speech platform, which means it's not your platform. All of a sudden, you're using their words. Anyway, yep.
Yeah,
That's where to find me.
Should be based
that
off
K often
interaction.
Yeah,
that Melee K often roasts Rumble because they claim to be this free speech platform, but still, there's plenty of things you can't say in chat because it'll be censored automatically.
Yeah,
that's more Google than the app stores than anything. They have to meet the minimums.
Not only that.
I mean,
I put it
the things you can say in Rumble chat that you can't say in Rumble chat, you can say in YouTube chat.
Oh, really?
Well,
I see the bundle of sticks words all the time.
I put the Rumble chat through the Blink-182 test.
Yes.
Which is shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits, fart, turn, and twat.
Yes. I like that.
And all of them worked except for cocksucker.
Rip. Can I put that in there? Let's see if it works.
Yeah. No,
one word or two words?
So if it will work as one word, but it won't work as two words.
It's because it censors the word cock. That's the litmus test.
I wonder if you have. I think it's because she's fucking Canadian. I don't think it has anything to do with Rumble.
I know other people have said so as well. I haven't.
Are they from Canada?
No. Well,
Rumble is from Canada.
James the KR, obviously, but I've heard people who are not from Canada have tried it in Rumble.
I say the bundle of sticks word. I say it all. Oh, I think it's because she's Canadian. We'll have to talk about that another day.
But I only see the one word version.
Yeah. Oh, really? You can't see the other one?
Nope. Hold on a second.
Oh.
I will share that.
Nice. Topic for another show. Oh, he advertised it as a free speech platform, which means it's not your platform.
Shut up, because I got the tab muted.
Anyway.
Shut up, other me.
Yeah.
Past me.
I think I saw it. Or did it just delete it?
I'm just trying to make it more visible. But so you see, you got the good night and then the one word cocksucker.
Oh, you're right.
2 word cocksucker.
Damn. Well, topic for another day. I had a great show tonight, man. You all rock.
That was a great.
Tell the people about yourself again. We kind of interrupted your outro.
No, we're good. I got YouTube, Chocolate Zulu 12. Go watch my Power World video. I don't know why. It used to have like 24 views, and then YouTube keeps bringing it back down to 9 and 10. So I don't know what's happening, but
that's weird.
Super weird.
People went and watched it in reverse in order to unwatch it.
I guess, they hated it so much they had to watch it in reverse, which just if you hate my content, just dislike and say mean things about me in the comment section. I will like all of it. What? Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, they watch it in reverse to take the views away from you, just like running the car in reverse and Ferris Bueller's Day Off to get the miles off. That's exactly how it works.
It's logical. It just makes sense. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Thank you, man. Great show. Y'all have a good night.
Good stuff. Yeah, I am Static 2020. You're on my channel already. Come back. So tomorrow night I will be on Dermy Wormy's channel for Tuesday Night Mayhem. Come back Thursday. Check out the weekend pregame at 5:30 Pacific time, where we are going to have Paul Hadouken, Adam the Renaissance Nerd, and we are going to do the second go around of What is Woke, which is going to be a semi-periodic conversation for that show, because whenever I find someone talking about it on YouTube, I want them to come on my show and have a conversation about it, because I think it's very I think it's a dumb word.
It definitely has been overused, and I think
it's
everyone
turned into
has
a catch-all for a lot of stuff.
Yes, and I have a very specific definition of it that is not like most people's.
I think you'd be surprised what your definition, how your definition fits with everyone else, particularly mine.
Cool. Yeah, anyway, you mentioned that when you were on Open Mic, you were going to be talking about that very topic on your next one, and that was a couple months ago. So, semi-periodic.
Oh yeah, well, we didn't do it then. We've done it before. I don't know. That was over the summer at some point. But yeah, So we're going to be doing that Thursday. I don't think I have anything else going on. Oh, Wednesday night, we have a Sea of Thieves stream, Shock, with Fractured, and we'll see who our fourth is, either Emmanuel or Paul, depending on how that works.
Nice.
And then I think that's it. I might have some Batman streams this weekend. We'll see kind of how life goes. But yeah, everyone, Mike has bad knees, Spartacus, Duke Devil, Cyber Ninja. There was that one from
Kick Hottie Toddy,
Professor Hottie Toddy,
Professor Savage Dad on
Professor
Rumble.
Savage Dad, killing it over there on Rumble. Everyone, thank you for watching. Thanks to you two for joining me once again. And then, all right, I'm going to do this real quick just because it's the mandatory outro for my channel.
Yeah.
Wave awkwardly to the camera and say bye.
Bye.